Summertime music, am I right? Anyways, we've been trying to find something appropriate, and I think that's as close as we're going to get. Hello, I'm Joanne Peltier, and welcome to Everybody Eats. Today's key ingredients are rice, peppers, aren't they beautiful? You had to see them, and corn. So basically, it's kind of like some summertime foods. And one of the other things, because we are going to have an abundance of food this summer, this book my husband got for me, and I think the title is Totally Achievable Zero Waste Approach to Home Cooking. So every now and then I'm going to be throwing in some nuggets on how we should be able to save food, because there is so much waste, and that's not new information for us, but we'll go into that a little further. So as I said, today's topic is going to be the colorful stuffed peppers, which I was going to try to have these ready for you, but they were so pretty, I'm just going to cut them in front of you. And then the corn casserole, which is super easy, we'll do that. And then my version of Spanish rice, it's not authentic, but it's what we enjoy. So I did do some research on rice just because we're using rice a lot today. So it's kind of interesting that dry rice grain is milled to remove the outer layers. Depending on how much is removed, it'll produce different types of rice. You'll end up with a brown rice, a rice with a germ, and white rice. Some is parboiled to make it easy to cook. Rice contains no gluten, so I just bought a bag of rice the other day and it said no gluten, and I'm like, oh wow, but it contains none, so I don't know why they put it on the bag. It does contain protein, but not enough of all the essential amino acids for good health. Rice comes in different types and is eaten all around the world. Long grain rice tends to stay intact on cooking. Medium grain rice is stickier and used for sweet dishes, like in Italy for a risotto. And then sticky short grain rice is used in Japanese sushi because it keeps its shape. And this one was a huge surprise to me. Golden rice is a variety produced by genetic engineering to contain vitamin A. So I didn't understand that when I read it, and I asked my trusty friend Alexa, and the vitamin A is supposed to help prevent blindness, and it's probably put in areas where people don't get a lot of vitamin A. The last thing I'm going to talk to you about rice is that rice does play a role in certain religions and traditions, and everybody knows they used to throw rice in the old days. So basically right now, I think I should get on to the cooking because I have a lot to do today, as you can see. We're going to have, as I say, the stuffed peppers, we're going to have the corn casserole, and I'm going to make my version of Spanish rice, and I'm just going to try to throw in some little information about what you can use that's leftovers or canned or excess from the garden. So I'm going to leave this piece of paper here with my main points on the food. So I'm going to get started, and I'm going to mix up the hamburger first for the stuffed peppers, but I have to wash my hands first. All right, and this is probably about a pound. I bought a 3-pound container. So this is going to be about a pound of hamburger, and just break it up. This part, it's easy. It's stuff you already know to do, but I'm just going to get this mixed up a little bit. And I never actually have made stuffed peppers using the colored peppers. Usually I use the green peppers, but about last year, I think it was, my daughter and I cooked together. She was doing an online show, and she was working here with me, And I'm pretty sure she used these, and I'm like, oh my, that was something different to use those pretty peppers. So once I bought them recently, I decided I'll try them. So to get ahead a little bit of the game, I already grated and diced I grated the onion, and I diced up the garlic. The onion I used, because it's already been, but I used an onion about this size to grate. The parts that I couldn't grate, I diced them up smaller pieces, and I put them in for the Spanish rice that we're going to have late. We'll do that later. All right, so we're just going to put all that in, and just make sure this is the right one now. Yeah, this is for the stuffed peppers. So, as I say, 2 cloves of garlic and 1 good-sized onion. Next, I am going to put in the rice. Now, I did cook the rice yesterday, and there is a lot of rice. One of the things in the book is definitely like, if you have leftover, this isn't leftover from, but I did cook it yesterday, so it will be prepared for today. So what I did here, because I knew I was making Spanish rice and stuffed peppers, I did 2 cups of rice and 4 cups of water. But to add some flavor, because you always like to have a little flavor, I put 1 package of this in with the rice, and I also put a little oil in the pan. If I was just going to be serving the rice like on a plate without being incorporated, I probably would have thrown out a chunk or 2 of garlic as well. But anyhow, right now I'm just going to take out some rice, and oh boy, this is the best kind of rice too to use for if you're going to make fried rice. They always say to have it chilled, so I hope it's going to work. I'm going to have to probably get my hands in this, because this is kind of sticking together still, but that's all right. We're going to have plenty of, this is supposed to be 2 cups, but it doesn't really look like enough, so I'm going to put that and then more, because we have a lot more left here for the Spanish rice. My daughter informed me it's not really Spanish rice, but because I don't really have any Spanish seasonings going on. I don't even put paprika in it, so, but it's good the way I make it. So anyways, once you start making your own, you can add anything you want to it once you find out what you like. So here, I'm just going to mix that up a little bit. And I think if you've seen me in the past, measuring's not one of my big things. It's pretty much eyeballing everything. But I am going to put this hot pepper in, this hot pepper sauce. This adds a little kick to it. And I hope I can get the cap off. Yep. All right. Just a couple of shakes. I did this when I did the galumkis too, just to jazz it up a little bit, Whoa, that's kind of a lot. Oh, hope it's not too much. Oh well. Anyways, I'm putting that in there, and then I'm just going to mix it up. And can you see it? How it looks right now with the cooked hamburger and, not the uncooked, the cooked rice and the raw hamburger. There's more ways to make. A lot of recipes call for cooking the hamburger and cooking the rice. As a rule, I always usually put uncooked rice even, but I haven't been able to get the converted rice that I always used to use. So this one was par-cooked a little bit, and then I just parboiled it myself, probably for 15 minutes, because I just wasn't sure, because it wasn't my regular rice. But normally it would have been raw hamburger and uncooked rice. So the other thing I need to add here now is 1 egg. And when I looked up how other people do this, some of them call for an egg, some of them don't. And once you start making it, you'll decide how you prefer it. And my old trick, let's see if I make a basket. A drain, actually. No, but that's all right. I laid it in the sink. Anyhow. Okay, so this is coming along. Oh, you know what I have to do? Turn on the oven. Okay. And I need to check to make sure the oven is in the right position, because this is one of those, it'll switch over to convection or whatever. I'm just using regular 350. But I'm going to put it down the middle rack, because I'm going to cook the corn casserole at the same time. So we're going to go bake, start, and it automatically defaults to 350. So that's a gift. Something to look for if you're looking for a new stove. I'm sure most of them do all that though for you. So let's see now. We have the egg in there. We have the rice, the onions, the garlic, and I just have to mush it all together so I can stuff it into these beautiful bell peppers. Well, they're not, I guess they're bell peppers, but they're colored. They're so pretty. Let's see here. I don't know, you want some music in the background while I'm doing this? Must be getting kind of boring for you just to be watching me do all this. I don't know. Maybe a little bit of music. There you go. My husband's favorite artist. I think you guys will recognize him as well. We're getting there. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go cut the tops off. There's not really much to it, but I just wanted you to see them, that they were so pretty. Well, I'll just rinse them off over here and then I'll bring them back. There you go. All right. Don't want to waste too much of the pepper, and they do show that some people cut them half and half, which I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to take the tops off. As you can see, there's the top, and these come out pretty easily, just like that. No big deal. See that? You can shut that off if you want, because I want them to hear this. Okay, let's see, we'll do another one. But just try to keep as much as we can of the pepper whole. And there again, there's the little ring. Then we'll just take this, and can you see all that? Because this, you know, this might be intimidating to somebody, but you know, if it breaks, it breaks. You know, you just cut it in half and fill it the other way. And then you want to take that rib out, that white stuff. Yeah. Let me see. Yeah. Get all that out. And I guess that would probably be considered like the pith in an orange. You know, not something you want to eat. I don't know if, I don't know if this has any taste at all to it, but we don't want it in there. And there, look at that, all three of them came out. They're pretty good, huh? I'm pleased. And there's the three, the three tops. All right, there they go. And this guy's coming out right now. Have you ever grown peppers? From the garden, they grow fast sometimes, and they're very good. They're very tender. So that's it for that. Now, the next step is going to be to fill these. And I just want to add a little more to this mixture here. I know I put the hot sauce, but I do have, and we're talking about using some leftovers. I made something the other night, and I really can't even remember what it was. I wish I could, but I cook all the time, you know? So a lot of times now I'm taking pictures of what I cook, because some nights I wish that we had filmed what I cooked, you know? But usually it's such chaos, and I take pictures. So one of my newer ideas is maybe some of those meals, I'll do like a picture book of some of those meals, and make it like a little recipe book. So my husband seems to think we could do that. Maybe do it online, or maybe just, you know, who knows? Who knows? It's just another idea. But there's just so much stuff that you do without even realizing it. Like the magazines that you can get in the grocery store. You sit around, you look at it. The other night I was looking at one and they were talking about making like a Philly cheesesteak knockoff, but using ground beef. And I thought, oh, geez, I have some nice bread that I got at one of the local stores. And it's like a sweet Italian bread. They have two loaves. So I thought, I bet you I could do that. So I took the hamburger and I used a little Worcestershire sauce. I separately layered I sauteed the green peppers, I sauteed the onions, and then I sauteed the mushrooms. Everybody kept it separate place though. And then I did the hamburger the way they suggested to get started. But I didn't use some of the seasonings that they had. I didn't have everything anyway. But I used Worcestershire and soy sauce, I think. And then it said thicken it up. And I did. I thickened it up with a little bit of flour and water. And I put it on these buns, this bread, opened it up, spread it all out because it held together because of the flour. Then I layered the peppers on one side and the onions and mushrooms on the other, and then I topped it with American cheese and popped it in the oven. And boy, my husband was eating it and he goes, wow, this is easy, I can taste all the flavors. So then, unfortunately, he had to listen to this whole story about layering and all this business. But there's so many things that you can do on your own and be creative, you know. So once you just get the gist of the idea, like with this, 2 cups of cooked rice, a pound of hamburger. My daughter would probably be using ground turkey, which we did this. I think we did them with ground turkey, or we did a meatloaf. But anyways, and then you have to add stuff like grated carrots or something just to give it a little more substance. So we're ready to fill these. Let me just check my recipe here. I think I have everything included though. But it doesn't hurt, because like right now I'm talking away anyway. So, okay, so the onion, the garlic. We put the egg in, the boiled rice. Yep. And next step is to fill it. Oh, the other thing is they said what some of these people were saying with their stuffed peppers, you don't have to just use rice. You could use quinoa or some other cooking grain. So, you know, whatever you decide to do, but just get started doing it once, and then after that you can get creative. All right, let me just try filling those. Gonna wash my hands again. I go through a lot of paper towels. I have a friend who is totally green, and paper towels are not her thing. She actually uses sewn together cloths, and it's like on a roll. And once it's done, she must have to wash the whole thing and dry it. But there's no paper towels. I don't believe any paper towels. When you're at her house, you don't see them. But I use a lot of paper towels. All right, so to stuff these, I'm just gonna, oh, did I? I don't want to put pepper because I put that hot sauce, okay. And so now I'm just gonna stuff them. I think I'll bring them over here. And you want to put a lot in, you know, because that's pretty much how we eat, a lot. And it's just for I'm only making 3 of them, you know, because before when the kids were home, oh yeah, I'd have to make a lot. But sometimes when I make a lot, we eat the same thing all week for, you know, quite a few days. And I'm trying to learn to cook a little smaller portions. Because one of the things I want to do too is with the toaster oven. I made a meatloaf one night, oh my God, and I used a little loaf pan, and I didn't do a lot of work to make it. It was pretty good though. Hamburger, onion soup mix. The biggest thing is the ratio. You know, how much hamburger to how much breadcrumbs. An egg, 1 egg is always a safe bet. And then my husband's mother, my mother-in-law, used to put the green peppers in it. So I don't know if I put the green peppers in it that night. I think I maybe let the onion soup mix carry the flavor. But put the green peppers in it, put ketchup over it and bake it. Put it in your little toaster oven. Now you only have to have meatloaf one night, and maybe the next day the husband can have a meatloaf sandwich or something. Or whoever you're cooking for. But anyways, see, we got more here. But that's all right. I'm going to just do that. And these are good. These are good. So what I'm going to do now is use that sauce that, oh, it's right here, that I had from the other night. This was just out of the can. It came with like basil and garlic, and it's pretty good. So you can take shortcuts. And I'm just going to cover these babies up. Oh boy. And there we go. And over this one. So the hamburger will cook. The rice was only partially cooked, so that'll, cook as well. And I think I'm just going to throw the rest of this in because I like to have extra sauce on my stuffed peppers once they split open, once you put them on your plate. So I'm just going to do that. And then these are good to go in the oven, so let me just finish this off. And you know what? I'm just going to have to put some water in here because I want to make sure there's enough moisture. Sorry, I'm not measuring, but I can show you what it looks like in there. And I'm just going to put a little water. Probably I'd say that's 1/4 of a cup. But let me show you, I don't know if you can see how this looks in here. Should I bring it over? But to me, that is not enough moisture in the bottom. So I'm going to add some water. Did you get a shot of that? Yeah? Okay. All right. I don't want this to burn on you when you make it and then not want to do it again. So, okay. So here we go. Put the water. I'm not putting it over the top. I'm just putting it at the bottom. And the hamburger is probably going to give off some moisture as well. All right. I'm not going to put them in the oven right away, only because I want to do the cornbread, the corn casserole with it, and I want them to bake at the same time. So for dinner, they'll both be done at the same time. So right now, I'm just going to put the cover on it. And I'm probably just going to, why don't I throw these in too? Why waste them, right? We'll put them, where did you go on? You go on there. Oh, these look so pretty. Look at this. Huh? Is that great or what? Can you see it? I'll bring it over. My happy zone is the kitchen. Well, of course, with the family and everybody else, but when I'm all by myself, one day my granddaughter told me, Bubchi, you are never alone. Because I can do stuff like this. I love it. Anyways. Okay, so put the cover on and put it over here for now. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna put it over here. Now, should we kind of stop for a minute because I'm going to empty this bowl out and I'm going to use this again for my my corn casserole. And I want to put the, look at how much is left over. That's from 2 cups of rice, cooked rice, and a good sized pound of hamburger. So you could probably make 8 or 10 stuffed peppers. Okay, so I think for the moment we'll stop and then we'll come back after I get this cleaned up. And we're back. Yep, now we're going to do the, you can take a minute and listen. Right? It's like those things they used to do on television for like a moment of quiet. This is like quiet in your soul. I love it. My husband's choice right now. Yeah, so, so now I'm getting distracted. I'm going to make the corn casserole using Jiffy Mix. This is easy peasy. The first time I had it, I was at a luncheon and we all had to bring something. And it was a Thanksgiving themed luncheon. We used to volunteer doing cookies over the coals for the local school kids. And we did it in a house that was built like in the 1700s. And the director would cook the chicken in the actual fireplace in the kitchen, like in the hearth, on the hearth. And so people would try to bring food. I think that was like indicative of the early days. And one of my friends brought this corn casserole, and boy, it was a hit. And so anyhow, I've adapted it. I use it all the time. It's a family favorite. My husband would never ever eat creamed corn. You know, this was not something he would like on his plate. But now that it's creamed corn, whole kernel corn drained, who doesn't like, corn muffins, sour cream, and of course, where you see this one, butter. Oh, it's a family favorite. Although when my son learned about all the ingredients, it was like, I can't eat that. I mean, it's got, because he likes to, knowing that all this is not the most healthy food for you, but we still all enjoy it, and he enjoys it with us. So, anyways, this is going to be real quick. You're going to love this. Oh, and I also have to grease the dish that it's going to go into. But right now, let me just open this up. And for any of these recipes, you know what, they're yours. As long as you have, a telephone or a computer or a Google, even a library. You can look this stuff up. So much of it is easy to make. That recipe I don't believe is on here, but you could find it anywhere if you don't catch it all when I'm telling you. So there's the sour cream, and then I'm going to open up the corn. This one you have to drain on the kernel corn. You drain it. So I'm going to just open that. And I actually like the idea of using the manual can opener. So many things are so easy for us, and I mean, this is just a small little thing, but use your muscles a little bit. Those cans that they have that little flip thing, I'd rather use this any day, because those little things with like a soda can or something, a lot of times you can't get it open. And I have read that like if you use a spoon or something, that'll help you because you don't want to break your nail or something. So anyhow, in goes one can. Yep, there's a little bit more in there. I'll get that out. And then this one, everything goes in. The creamed corn. And I have, as I've said in the past, virtually no brand allegiance except when I'm making lasagna. I'm a totally Ronzoni girl there, but pretty much else. If you liked it, you bought it, you liked it, use it. Okay? So here. So now we have the Jiffy Mix, the corn. Let me just get a little scraper. I don't know if these fit, I guess. Okay, so we just want to get it all out. And if you have fresh corn, I'm sure you could substitute fresh corn. And there's actually a way to make creamed corn out of fresh corn. I'm sure you use your blender or something. Something I've never done, so I'm not going to recommend it. I mean, but you certainly can, but this is the season for the summer. So you could certainly try it. And, oh yeah, the butter. I'm using organic butter. And I'm going to stir this up. You can see the corn in there. Oh, and I have to put an egg in. It's only like 5 ingredients though, so you can just do it from memory. Here we go. Just do it from memory. Then you can start adding stuff, like sometimes you could add, when you get the canned corn, sometimes they have canned corn with like jalapenos or something like that, something extra, or peppers, something like that. You could put that. You can put cheddar cheese, which would really be good too, Of course, they don't even say you have to put an egg. An egg is supposed to make it a little lighter, so that's why I throw the egg in. And this is only supposed to be a cup of sour cream, so I'm going to just try to measure it out. And this. Some of the recipes I looked up said use sugar. Not so sure I want the sugar, but hey, maybe, And this is stuff that you can let the kids start to make too, and you can get them interested in cooking, which at some point I'll give it a little bit more, get them interested in cooking and serving up stuff like this, or even helping you in the kitchen. That's great to have help. So there, you can just see what it's going to look like. And I don't really want to over mix it. Because they always tell you when you do your muffins, like to let them rest. I actually had thought about doing this first and having it rest while I was doing the stuffed peppers, but we changed the plans. But anyhow, this is it. Can you see this going on? Yeah? Okay. And I'll just check my recipe. That's one thing. I have sometimes forgotten an ingredient. It's not the end of the world, but sometimes when you add it too late, it's not what you expected. And I can't remember what it was that happened to me on, especially on baked things. You definitely don't want to have to pull it out of the oven and add one more thing because it's not going to work out. But hey, it's your kitchen. And if you can fix something up to make it salvageable, especially nowadays when we're actually very, very aware of a term we never learned, but we knew people went hungry, but food insecurity. That's a real problem. And I've heard, like on newscasts and stuff that I've read, that there is plenty of food in the world, but so much of it gets wasted as well. Not just people in the kitchen, although what I recently read was that the average family wastes $30 worth of food per week. That turns out to be $1,500 a year. So anything we can do ourselves to curtail that, I think is worth thinking about. And that would definitely fall under the guise of this book again, which once I get that in the oven, because I want those things to cook at the same time, I have some points in here on the book. I have some points in here that I actually want to kind of talk with you about. So right now, let me just get this pan ready. I already washed the pan. I'm just going to spray it now with a little spray, just so my corn casserole doesn't stick. And I'm going to do it over by the sink only because I don't want to have spray butter everywhere. I recently brought this to a potluck at the same volunteer organization, and actually the friend that introduced me to it picked me up, and I said, Joan, I made your corn casserole. But it was a hit, you know, and I just couldn't take it off. I couldn't just make it and not give Bob some of it, so what I did was I made a little small side dish just for him to have, and I think he appreciated that. So let's see here. This is what we go into the corn casserole. 1 can of creamed corn, 1 can of drained corn, 1 box of corn muffin Jiffy Mix, 1 stick of melted butter, 1 cup sour cream, and one or two eggs, and I put the 1. And you can put a half a cup of shredded cheddar cheese, but I decided I wasn't going to do that. So now I'm just going to get this in the dish. And can you see all of that? This one might be a little big for this dish, but you can use an 8x8 or a 9x13, which this is the larger size, but you just cut it into squares. You know, it's like a really nice square of cornbread, but it's a corn casserole type thing. But I could have used a smaller dish too, but I guess I really should have, but I could have. But anyhow, it's in here now, so this is how it is. So this probably will not take an hour. This will probably take only 50 minutes because it's thin. So I'm going to pop this in the oven, and I'm going to put the peppers in. So for the moment, let me just open up the oven, pull out my tray. One oven I had, a very fancy one. The trays were so hard, if I decided I didn't set them properly in the beginning, I'd have to call Bob to come out and take them out and put them in for me, because they were so hard to do, and plus they were hot. They were hot. Okay, so that's in, and I'm gonna leave, where are the peppers? Oh, over here. Okay. I'm going to leave these covered for a good part of it for 45 minutes, and then let me just get this in here. I'm always afraid the rack's gonna fall out, and I'm sure it won't, but I'm really one of those belt and suspenders type of person. All right, there we go. Okay, set the timer, okay. The timer for the corn casserole, I'm going to just put it in at 45 minutes. So timer for 45 minutes for the corn casserole. For the peppers, I'm going to do them at 1 hour, but I will check them at 45 minutes and take the cover off. Okay, so I'm going to ask Alexa, set the pepper timer for 1 hour.
Pepper timer, 1 hour.
Good.
Starting now.
Okay, so now, so far in that we're good. Are we ready to keep this marathon going? Yeah, I'm asking my my videographer if he's ready to stay with this too. Are you ready for all of this? Okay, so a couple of things I wanted to mention. First, I'll just throw this in the sink for now. Let me just rinse off my hands a bit. And has anybody noticed something different? That I have flag earrings on, and we have a 4th of July Christmas tree over here. This is something new that I decided to do this year. Every year at Christmas, my husband sets up this tree in the dining room, and he puts the ornaments on it with the satin or red or blue ornaments, and it stays there for quite a while. And then as my granddaughters have gotten older, they've begun decorating it at Christmas time, helping their grandfather, or just actually doing it all, depending on what's going on. So after Christmas, I took all the ornaments off, and then it was so close to Valentine's Day, I thought, oh, you know, the dollar store always has all kinds of stuff, so I got the garland with the hearts on it, and so we had a Valentine's Day tree. So that kind of caught on. So Valentine's, oh, then after that, of course, St. Patrick's Day, you know. So for like for Valentine's Day, I just used the beads too. St. Patrick's Day, I think I used the green beads, the gold beads, and all that. And then we had various other things, and we got involved doing that. And then for, I can't remember which came first. I think Easter came, and I bought more stuff, because you can just always buy the stuff and you just put it away for next year. So this year, my granddaughters did it, and they did all the, put all the garland on the bunnies and various other things that I had purchased, and that was pretty exciting. Is that the day when we tried plugging it in, it kept lighting up, or was that the birthday one? So we've gone from that to the Easter. Then within a couple of weeks of Easter, it was my son's birthday and my son-in-law's birthday in the same time frame in April. So my granddaughters did a happy birthday tree. So there was a big blue bow up there. There were happy birthday banners. So then finally, that was the last time we did it. We kind of, I took everything off after that in the beginning of May. And then I thought, well, we just had Memorial Day. And so I had bought some stuff for Memorial Day, which I didn't use at all. And we didn't do the tree here. We had get together at my daughter's house. So I thought, well, you know what? The 4th of July is coming, so here we go. I have my paraphernalia on. We have this, and I think after the 4th, we're going to probably put it away for a while, though, because it's taking up a permanent residence in the corner of the dining room. But it's been a lot of fun, and we just try to do fun things, right? Every now and then, all the time. Anywho, let me just put this away. Next, we are going to make, I'll get it in a minute, the Spanish rice. Okay, so let me get started on that a little bit, because I also wanted to mention a few more points about in this book that I think is worth investigating the topic. I haven't completed the book myself, actually, but it's one of these things that you can keep around in the kitchen and then get some ideas about how you can reuse things, So, let's see here. Do I have any more on that? Oh, okay, so the food waste. Okay, so basically, it's a really helpful book. Like the first part here, it's like, as I say, we are the, lights on. We are the gatekeepers of our kitchen. We are going to decide how hard we can try to have zero waste of food. So they have, it calls a food waste feast manifesto. So it tells you to look for possibilities, free your mind, you know, don't think that you can't cook something one way. You can incorporate many things in various foods. And then trust your senses. If something's out of whack, doesn't smell good or whatever, get rid of it. But sometimes the sell-by date can be extended a little bit. And it says make your kitchen work for you, which I think this is a really good one. You know, arrange your freezer, and this is really important. Arrange your freezer by eat me first, you know, because if stuff is getting old. And then the rest of this would be like zero waste kitchen strategies. This is kind of like they're showing you eat me first. So if somebody wants to, like I had a half of a pepper, so I got that in there and I diced that up for plus I had a big green pepper, but I had that. And then I was going to use this other half of the onion, but I used quite a bit of onion already. So, but that the sauce that I had, I knew that I was going to be making these, so I thought I'll just use that sauce. I just opened it the other day. And then the freezing. Freezing your food is a really good way to keep track of your stuff. Like if you have leftovers and you're not going to eat it tomorrow, freeze it. And the one thing I did buy is one of those food vacuum sealers. And to learn how to use it, they had numerous videos. You can always do a video. And I had Bob come out and help me, and we had to, you know, figure out how to learn to use the thing. But it's not that difficult. It's just a matter of like where to put the bag under the sealer, how full to fill it, and that sort of thing. But anyhow, that's another good way to save food. So, anyways, I would say this is a great idea, and not specifically that book, but something along those lines. You could use that book, or I don't know those people. It was just a gift, you know. But some great ideas in there. And like I say, once you get started on something, you just kind of like run with it yourself. Okay, so now I'm going to start the, I love this picture. I'm going to start the Spanish rice. Okay. This is real quick too. And what I'm going to do with the Spanish rice is when we have it, the way I like to serve it is I'll bake some sausages. I get those like Italian sausages. And we like the sweet. Some of the family likes the hots, but we like the sweet. So I'll just bake them. But what I'm going to do too is put, like I have some apples in the fridge. I'll just core them. So I'll put the sausages in the glass dish. I'll put the apples around. I'll cover it with tin foil. I'll probably bake them for like 30 minutes at 350. Then I'll uncover them and I'll let them brown up probably for like another 15 minutes. And then that's an easy supper, you know. So that's going to be probably tomorrow, because we're going to have the stuffed peppers and cornbread tonight. So let me get started on here. And, oops, no matter how much room you have, it seems like you're always looking for space. I'm just going to use regular canola oil. You can use olive oil, whatever kind of oil you like. And I'm just going to cover the bottom of the pan so I can saute the onions and garlic. And I'll show you how much oil. I don't really have a lot in here, but I like to put it on my hands. I don't want to waste it. Here we go. There's not a lot, just a bit to cover the bottom. Can you see it? Can you see how much oil I have in there? I can bring it over a little bit more. Okay. Okay. That's not a lot of oil. Okay, I think that's good. I'm going to put it back on the stove because I want it to heat up. Okay. And just on medium, I don't want to burn it. So, Spanish rice. I was so afraid I was going to get going too much in Anyhow, for the Spanish rice, these are your onions and your garlic. So I'm going to pop these in right now. I'm going to put the onions in first. The garlic's on the very bottom because I don't want that to burn, and I diced it super small. This I chopped. I did not grate. I just thought I like it chopped up so we can taste it. Now, let me just let that go a little bit before I put the bottom in, because that's where the diced up garlic is, and I don't want the garlic to burn. I should have just kept it separately, but I didn't. Okay. I also cut up one big, I had a green pepper, and I had a little bit from another one. So I cut 3/4 of the fresh one up, and I used up the 1/4 of the other one. One good-sized bell pepper. And that's going to go in. And then, let me just put this over here. I'm going to open up the diced tomatoes. I like the diced tomatoes in this with no puree or anything. It just smells so nicely light when you get your the Spanish rice, and it's nice and light. Now I'm not even going to put this in here because I just put that to give the stuffed pepper some taste. I don't need it here. Let's see here. Oh, and here I have this. Okay. Wipe off the lid. And again, whatever tomatoes you use. I mean, summer's here, coming real fast, so we'll be able to get fresh tomatoes, and you could do this with fresh tomatoes, or, you know, make your Spanish rice with fresh tomatoes and fresh green peppers. Okay, I gotta come back over here. We don't want this guy to burn on me. Okay, that's the one thing. You have to stay with your food all the time. Just the other day, I just turned my back on something. I know, I was toasting some bread or something. All of a sudden, oh, you know why? Because I think I turned it up to broil. Okay, you toast. But anyhow, you gotta stay with it all the time. So these onions, I'll bring them over so you can see them. I think these are about good. This is where I want them. Here you go. Oh, I wish you could smell them. Can you see them? See, those look about right. You got that? Okay, so now I'm going to throw in the garlic. And I'm only going to let that go for a minute because we don't want to spoil the flavor of that. Okay, so, but yeah, I do love to cook. And there are days when you can just keep cooking and cooking and cooking, you know, and then everybody says, yeah, we'll eat it, you know. So it's like, I don't know, maybe someday we'll just have a marathon where we cook all day. And, but nothing's that original, you know, nothing's that original. But it's family favorites, some more than others. I did make another lasagna. We kind of thought I might be able to do it for the show. There's just too many moving parts for me to do it all at once. So what I think I'm going to do when I do the lasagna is I have sauce already made. I think I'll use my sauce that's made. We can talk about how I made it. But I will show you how I like to mix my cheeses and how I like to layer it in the pan and that sort of thing. So you'll get to see the lasagna. Oh, and the other thing I did, because I did talk about this before, doing the manigat, I did buy the shells. Instead of making your own, buy the shells. And I'll put in the peppers. As I said, that was like the equivalent of one big pepper, green pepper. Gonna let that go a little bit. So what I did was I mixed up the cheese and all that, and it was they said you didn't have to boil them because they're hard to, even with the stuffed shells, it's hard to fill them once they've been cooked. So I used the hard manigat shells, and I tried getting the cheese in there, and they suggested putting the sauce at the bottom of the pan, which I followed the instructions, but then it was hard because you're sitting this cylinder there and you're trying to get the cheese in, and then if you wanted to take it out, you had sauce underneath. So hey, I got it all done, that's for sure. However, my new plan is I ordered one of those bags where you can fill, you know, like if you're doing cupcakes, decorate cupcakes, but I ordered the one with the extra large heads on it. So I'm going to get them again. I'm going to make them again. And they were good. We enjoyed them. And they're no boil, so I'm going to fill them all up first, the cylinders, using this squeezy thing, cake decorator. Put them in the dish. Put some of the sauce, and then you have to, the ratio, you got to work on your ratio. So I put like a cup of water to a cup of to sauce to begin with, and then top it with sauce, and then bake it. They were delicious. So that'll be another thing I want to do on the show. And it took me forever to figure out. First, get the hard ones. Maybe they'll be good. You know, cook them like that with the liquid. And then second, to use a cupcake froster, you know, thing. So that worked out. Those I have to do. I have to make them using my new tool now. So this is coming along, and I'm not going to let this go too much more because I like the peppers to be crispy. Oh, and they're smelling pretty good too. See, can you see all that? I'm going to pick it up a little bit. So they'll be nice and crispy. Not raw, but have some bite to them. So that's what you kind of are looking for. Next thing, I'm just going to put the canned tomatoes in, and after that, the rice. But let's see here. Just going to let it go a little bit more. But yeah, this goes great with sausages, the Italian sausages. Put it in the oven, cover it with tinfoil, or cut up your apple if you want, or just serve applesauce on the side, you know. Or you could do this with pork chops, you know. You could get those little cutlet ones and just fry them up real quick, so you have another easy meal. All right, so in go the tomatoes. Let me just bring that up to a little boil. Look how colorful. Let me just bring it over so I can show you. Let's see here. Look at that. How nice that looks. Isn't that pretty? The red and the green. Very nice. You getting a good shot of that? Okay, good. So basically, for this, I'm going to start adding the rice as soon as I think this is hot enough. Normally, I would have had the rice cooking at the same time, but trying to condense some of the time that it was going to take. Another thing is when I was reading, and I've actually done this myself once or twice, maybe just once. But you know, sometimes you buy this big jar of salsa, and there's only so many of those taco chips you can eat before you know you're done. So one time I had leftover rice, and I had this, and I just threw it in, and it works. And that was like one of the recipes they talk about, adding picante or some stuff like that. And but even if you just have leftover rice, like I may have leftover rice, just buy a jar of this, toss it in together, and you make yourself your quick and easy Spanish rice. And this probably has more of the seasonings that people would expect to find in there. All right. Now I'm just going to put the rice in. And we're going to have to trial and error to see if it's going to be moist enough. I don't know. Because this is a lot of rice. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. One time when my daughter and I were cooking during that same thing, she went online, and this guy does cooking shows, and you can call in and talk to him while he's cooking, and you can ask questions and stuff like that. But I don't think that was the show we did with him. But one of them was like one of the shows we did, or one of the cooking things we did together. It said X amount of rice for water, whatever. But she was making enough for her family, she and her husband, and we were making enough for us, and she was making enough for her brother and his family. So we did the math on the rice. We had so much leftover rice that was unbelievable. So it's a little tricky when you're doubling on rice or tripling. So a word of caution, unless you really like rice, be careful how you measure. But it didn't go, you know, we had plenty of food and we had plenty of rice, so that was good. So let me just try to get some of this out. Here again, as I say, I didn't cook this all the way yesterday because I didn't want it to be mushy. But this is probably all I took out. I took out 2 cups for the stuffed peppers, so, and I have still so much in there to do. I think I'm gonna have to add water. I do. Yeah, I'm gonna have to add water. But here again, I'll tell you why. Let me just say I need the pot holder. Let me just see if I can boil up some water. You can see that this is pretty dry. I can add a little bit of water to see if that's going to help it. And I also have another can of tomatoes here. I could add another can of tomatoes. Let me just try loosening up that rice a little bit with some water. And I'll keep stirring it. Otherwise I can just add another can of tomatoes. But I think this is coming together. Hold on. Yeah. I just was not patient enough. Let me stir it over here so you can see it. If you see it coming together, it might make you feel more comfortable that when you decide you're going to add more water or something. Okay, so I don't know if you can see all of that. But see how nice and light it is? You know, I prefer just the diced tomatoes. I use them in a lot of things. Just the diced tomatoes with their own tomato juice. It keeps the food nice and light. Anyways, that's looking pretty good to me. So I don't think I'm going to add any more rice though because this is plenty of food for us, and maybe I'll just give some away. We'll see, we'll see how much is left after we eat. Of course, we'll have this tomorrow. Tomorrow when I use it, most likely I'll have to add water or open up some more tomatoes and put more tomatoes in. It's going to depend. But it's loaded with vegetables, you know, so that should be good. And I think that's pretty good. All right, I'm just going to let it go over there and cook a little bit more. And well, I think for the time being, we can kind of say we'll stop for now. And then once the food is done, I'll take it out of the oven and we'll see how it all came out. So we'll be back in a little bit. Thanks.
The timer is done.
It's all right.
Hello, we're back. The corn casserole came out
Your pepper timer
15 minutes ago because I thought since it was this thinner
Your pepper timer
dish,
is
I would
done.
have to cook it for less time, and I was correct. Now,
Pepper timer is done.
my timer, there she is. I told you.
Pepper timer is done.
I always can count on her, and she's saying the pepper timer is
Pepper
done.
timer is done.
So, stop alarm,
Your
Alexa.
pepper timer is
Yeah, there you go. Stop. Okay, so I checked these once already when I took the corn casserole out. As I said, I was going to take the top off. And now I'm going to shut the oven off. I'm going to take these little beauties out. Oh boy, these are hot. Holy mackerel. But they look pretty nice, don't they? So, these are the peppers. Can you see them all right? Or shall I bring them over? Okay, we're good on that. And I was going to sample the Spanish rice, you know, but let me bring that over and have you take a look at that too, because we're going to have supper now because it's supper time. And, oh, didn't shut off. Hold on. Off. Okay, that's better. All right, and this. Look how nice this looks. And what I did was, remember, I wasn't sure if I was going to have to add more water. And I did, and I added the rest of the rice. Can you see it? You can see it all good? All right, so then, but because the oven was still on, this still sends all the heat up. So I just took it off the off heat, as they like to say sometimes. off the flame, and I just set it back there. So I'm gonna taste a little bit of this, and we'll try a little bit of everything in a minute. But I just wanted to tell you one more thing that I forgot to mention earlier. This is just another one of those little things, a little kitchen tip. Often, when you go to the store, you're going to buy stuff that's been pre-weighed for you. And like, I didn't do it in this store because I just didn't have time or whatever. But normally when I go and it says like, oh, 5 pounds of this for X amount of money, whatever. And I've gotten used to doing this. And when I can, if there's a scale handy, weigh it. And then see, sometimes this might be only 4.5, sometimes it's 5.5. So if you have a few minutes, why not weigh it? Because sometimes you're going to buy something and there's going to be something in there that's you won't be able to use, you know. So that's another little tip about trying to get as much as you can for your money. So what I'm going to do right now is I will taste this stuff unless you want to wait until I fill your plate, or I'll just take a little taste right now just to get this done so then I can get our supper going. So let me see here. I think I'm going to take a little bit of this first, the Spanish rice. You're supposed to taste your food, and believe me, I'll tell you, I already did taste it, and I am very, very pleased. Okay, but I don't think we're going to have this with our stuffed peppers tonight. You know, we're just going to have the corn casserole. But let me taste a little bit of that. I'm going to let that cool. I'll take a little edge, get a little everything first. But I did taste that already, and let me say I'm pleased. It came out very well. And tomorrow it'll probably even taste better. So, but as I said, I did add a little more water. I added the rest of the rice, and I don't think I hurt it in any way. This is almost like a cornbread. I think if I used a deeper dish, it would have been more casserole, but you can still see how nice that looks. That looks very moist in there, you know. I'm going to just take a little piece right now to try it. Yep. So let me try that. And then for the pepper, that one I'll just pull out the one I'm going to have with my meal. And I'll take a taste of that. And then I'm not sure which color you want me to save for you. We have a choice. We have the orange, the yellow, and what was the other one? Orange, yellow, where's the other color? Oh, red. So you want me to save you the red one? And I will, or you want to try a color? Yeah. Well, you know what? I'll just take this one here, and then I'll save you the red one. Let me just see if I can get this baby out. Oh yeah, look at that. Holy mackerel. All right. And as I told you, I like them, and we have plenty of juice in here. I'm a little afraid to try to tip this over, but I'll bring it over and show you for the extra juice. Some people like theirs dry. I like mine moist, but I only added that little bit of water, and because I had it covered for 45 minutes and uncovered for only 15, it kept its moisture. So good. So let me get started on testing, and then I'll be able to feed my my videographer and my poor hungry husband, who didn't get much food today because I was busy and he was busy. So let me just try this first. It's been out for 15 minutes, so we don't have to worry about burning ourselves. Mm-hmm. It's fine. It's very good, very creamy. It's almost like it should cook a little bit more even. It's very good. Now I'm gonna do the rice. The Spanish rice. As I say, I already tasted it, but I was pleased, so. Just like when I watch all the shows, they tell you what the textures are, and the pepper is still crunchy. The tomato, of course, they are the diced tomatoes, so it's hard to ruin those. And the rice has a little bit of a bite to it, but it's very, very good, and there's a lot of flavor in there, so I'm pleased with the way this came out. Now the real test is going to be this stuffed pepper, because I've never done them with the colored peppers like that. I always just use the green, but I always felt that it was overpowering. The green on that to me was a little overpowering. So I'm hoping that this is nice and mild. Let's just see here. I'm going to take a little cut and the little top on there. Let's see here. Of course, when I go to eat the whole thing anyhow, I'll probably just lay it down. But it's kind of pretty to look at it this way anyway, for the starters. Oh yeah, look at all that in there. See, it was very moist. Okay. This is going to be hot because I just took this one out of the oven. So I'm just going to take a little taste, but we'll see if I put too much hot sauce. I sent the family out a video of the behind the scenes when I had everything ready to go. I'm killing time here so I don't burn my mouth. Oh, I can taste a little bit of that hot sauce. Holy mackerel. Well, it is there. But this is good. I'm surprised the peppers are still so firm. And they're very good. So, for that, I want to thank you for watching the show. Hopefully, I'll have another one out sooner than later because it's been a while. I do have another one that we're going to be doing that we just haven't put up yet on homemade chicken soup. So, wow, I gotta say though, go easy on the hot sauce. But the rest of this is, I have no changes at all. Maybe this I would have let cook a little bit longer, but it's custard, you know, it's pudding. Anyways, again, Bob, thank you very much for being my videographer and also for encouraging me on helping me with the dialogue and what to say and printing up this picture because I love this picture. This could be framed. This could actually be framed, a framed picture. But anyways, thank you very much and we'll see you soon, hopefully.